What's up, you guys? It's Juan Zuniga and this is Jensek, and today in this video we're going to talk about a $20,000 watch versus a $200 watch. I'm going to give you the differences and why a $20,000 watch is worth the $20,000 and vice versa. In this video, I'm not going to be bashing a brand or anything like that. It's more of showing you why a $20,000 watch is worth the money. And before we start, I want to remind you guys that February 10th at 10 a.m., our Essentials line is going to release again. So we're going to have new colors like this one, the burgundy color, which a lot of people were asking for. And we're also going to have V-necks as well as crew necks. So you can get 4 colors in both V-necks and crew necks. And the website goes live on February 10th at 10 a.m. So don't miss out. All right, so let's get to the video. Alright, so the first thing is quality. The quality of materials that one watch brand uses, like for example, this watch right here, this is the $20,000 watch. This is the Audemars Piguet or the AP Royal Oak. This watch is all quality. Every single thing, every single link is made with quality materials. And then there's other watch brands that are not made with the same quality materials, but doesn't mean that they're junk. They're just lower quality materials. That way they're able to give you a watch at a better price. So if you, for example, this one comes from Movement. This watch from Movement is the most similar watch that I could find that will look like this one. And this one is from Movement. You can get it for around $200. To be exact, it's around 160 bucks. Now, the quality materials of this watch are a lower quality because these are mass produced. These are not mass produced as much as these. And this one is everything so meticulously made by hand. Everything, every little link is made and perfected and checked by hand. Everything from the links to the screws to everything is put together so meticulously and so careful. For example, the watch band on this, it just feels hefty, but that's what you can expect from a $20,000 watch. You're spending thousands of dollars. Compared to this one doesn't feel hefty, but it doesn't feel cheap either. It feels very good. It feels very durable. It just doesn't compare to a $20,000 watch. Like I said, the quality of this watch is very, very good for a $200 watch. It doesn't compare to a $20,000 watch, but I don't think that's what they want to do. They actually just want a watch that is reliable, looks good, and it's affordable. It's for everybody, not something that only people that make a certain income can afford. So this is what Movement wants, or other watches around this price range. They want to make affordable watches that look good and they're reliable. They might not last you centuries or decades like an AP or a Rolex, but they are going to last a long time and they're reliable. AP, on the other hand, they want a watch that lasts a lifetime. That is part of a collection that you can pass down to your kids, to your grandkids, and your great-great-great-grandkids. That can not just last decades, but can probably last centuries if you take care of it, and that's what AP wants, and that's why you're paying that amount of money. Another thing that makes these watches so different is the movement. For example, Movement watches, the movement of the Movement watches is a quartz movement. It's a battery-operated Miyota movement, so it's something that it can be mass-produced. A lot of watches around these price range uses the same movement, so it's nothing special, but it makes the watch move. It gives you accurate time, it keeps time, you can have a date complication like this one does, and you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. On the other hand, the AP movement is an automatic movement. And that is something that it makes it so special. As soon as you turn and look at the back of this watch, it has a clear case back. And you can see it has a 22 karat rose gold oscillating weight. You can see the sapphires, you can see the movement inside this watch. Everything has details, it has engraving, it has AP engraved, and it just looks like a work of art. If you look at the back of this watch, there's nothing there, and if you open the watch and look at the movement, there's nothing special. It's just a regular quartz movement, and that is why you can find this watch for a lot less than this one. Also on the movement, for example, this is a quartz, so it uses a battery. As soon as the battery dies, you have to get a new battery and replace it. On this one, on the other hand, this one has a 60-hour power reserve, so which is very good compared to other watches that usually have about a 48 power reserve. And this one, how it works, it automatically charges itself every time you use it, or you can use the crown to wind it and charge it all over. So it has a power reserve and you don't have to worry about battery. Now, This is one thing that you don't get with an automatic watch. You don't get the accuracy of a quartz. Quartz are more accurate than automatic watch. So even though you're spending $20,000 on this watch, and you're only spending $200 on this watch, you're gonna get more accuracy in time with this one than this one. Another thing that makes these watches so different, like I said, is the materials that it uses. This one uses gold and precious stones. This one doesn't use any of that. For example, another thing is the crystal on the dial. This is just hardened mineral crystal, so it gets scratched easier. This one is glare-proof sapphire crystal, so this one is more scratch resistant, both on the front and on the back. So that is something that increases the price on these watches. And it makes it more of a work of art and something that you want to have in your collection compared to something that is just worth $100 or $200, which uses materials that any other watch uses, and you're really just using the watch for what it's made for, and that is keeping time. Now, a lot of all these little things is what makes this watch so expensive, so valuable, so sought after, because a lot of collectors, if you're a watch collector, if you don't have this watch in your collection, then you really don't have a complete collection. This is one of those watches that you must have in your collection. But a lot of those little things is what makes this watch so valuable that this watch doesn't have. However, that doesn't mean that this watch is a piece of junk, because it isn't. It's very solid, it feels great, and it has the detail that a lot of expensive watches have that other watches around this price range don't do. For example, the AP on the crown right here has engraved AP. That's a little detail that a lot of expensive watches have. For example, the Rolex has the crown, the Omega has the little Omega sign on it, and the AP has the AP engraved on the crown. A lot of watches around the $200 and $100 price range don't have that because they don't think that they need to do that. However, Movement Watches has engraved their crown right here with their Movement logo. So that is a little detail that this watch has. And that's why I'm saying that although this watch is not a match to an AP or a Rolex, it doesn't mean that this watch is junk. It's a great piece and it's something that you can be proud of and have in your wrist. Another thing that you can notice between these two watches is the weight. Although this one's $20,000 and this one's only $200, the weight is very similar. The only thing that makes this watch more heftier is the band. Other than that, they weigh around the same. This one weighs about 5.1 ounces and this one weighs 6 ounces. So the difference is very, very small. And that's why I'm saying this one feels very nice, feels a very solid watch for a lot less than this one. Now, if you want a collector's watch and you want a watch to show off and show that it's a piece of art, definitely this is the watch you need to get. But you want a watch that looks good and you want it to tell time, this is a great watch to have. It's a great watch at a great price. Now, there's a lot of things that I don't like about the Movement watches that I would change. However, this is a great watch and is highly recommended. Now, when it comes to the AP, I think it's a perfect watch. And if you can afford it, it's definitely a watch that you need to get. Everything about the AP is just a work of art. There's nothing about this watch that I'm like, oh, this should be different. Everything's made perfectly, and definitely that's why it's a watch that everybody that is a watch collector wants or has in their watch collection. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this little comparison of these two watches. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, and remember to comment, like, subscribe, and remember that February 10th at 10 a.m. we're opening up the site again for you guys to be able to buy our Essentials line. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.